Okay, good morning everyone and welcome to today's featured webinar on the Q1 release highlights. My name's Jessica and I'm going to be taking you through this morning's webinar. Just to let you know, I am recording this webinar this morning and I will send you all a recording by the end of play today. Also, just to let you know, that it will take around 45 minutes for us to go through today's webinar. Okay, perfect. So the first thing I'm going to go through with you guys is the agenda, just so that you can see exactly what it is we'll be going through. So I'm going to be taking you through two of the new features that we've released so far this year. The first one is the SMS notifications, which is a really exciting feature, allowing you to now not just email, but also send text messages. And also the contractor email inbox. So we're going to be going through that feature as well. It's brand new for this year. So those two features are really exciting and I'm really excited to tell you all about those. As well as new features, we've also got some improved features as well. So I'm going to show you the improvements we've made on the promote section, to the global search bar as well, the improvements we've made to the comments tab. We've tidied up the related tab. We've also added, so if ever you duplicate an issue now, that will show on the audit tab. So I'm going to show you that. We've added additional issue filters when you're searching. You can now search for your unassigned properties. And finally, a brand new one is that we've improved clarification for contractors on planned maintenance issues as well. So there's some really exciting stuff in this morning's webinar, and I'm really glad to see so many of you on here. So a big warm welcome. Thank you for joining me. Any questions at all, I'd be so happy to answer them. I do answer all questions at the end of the webinar, so please do use your Q&A button, which should be available on your Zoom bar. If you click there, you can ask any Fixflo related question and I'll do my very, very best to answer it towards the end of the webinar, just to keep us on track throughout. Perfect. So before I get started, I just wanted to give you a little bit of background regarding our releases. So we release every 2 weeks. So you should see some are bigger changes and some are smaller changes, but you should start to see changes coming into Fixflo every 2 weeks. Releases include, so they include new features, improvements, and also bug fixes. We do our best to fix bugs as quickly as possible for you guys. Unfortunately, with software, there will be bugs from time to time. So as soon as we are aware of them, we do raise them with the development team and they get fixed throughout the releases. If it's a really big bug, we will patch them. So what to look out for in order to keep up to date with our releases. So we have emails. We'll send you an email letting you know kind of the customer facing new releases and improvements that we've made. Also, there will be a pop-up. So when you kind of first log into Fixflo, there should be a pop-up explaining this release in some more detail, and that will often link out to our release notes as well. And our release notes are available on help.fixflo.com, which is our fantastic help site, which has a number of articles and videos as well. So before I go any further, I'm just going to quickly launch a very quick poll. It has got one question in it. I'd really appreciate if you could just let me know. We're just trying to get some data here. Do you currently stay up to date with releases by reading our release notes? We'd just like to kind of understand how often these are being read. And just to let you know, this is our very first webinar we've ever done showing releases. There's a lot of value from releases, obviously, with the new features and improvements that we make. So we do want to make sure these are kind of driven home to you so that you can understand and start using these. Perfect. Excellent. I'm just going to leave that open. It looks like it's not actually too far apart between the two, but overall people tend not to be reading them. It seems there's about 58% of people say no problem at all. It's absolutely fine. I understand that you guys are busy and you don't always have time to read these things, but it would just be good to then go through these as a webinar. So let's kick off with SMS notifications. Now, this is something that a lot of people asked for. People wanted to be able to keep in touch with people better. So we've now done this in this quarter. So this is really, really exciting. The benefits of SMS notifications are, it is a much better way of keeping occupiers in the loop. Texts are hard to miss, so everybody has their phone on them all the time. I can imagine a lot of you at the moment have your phone on your desk or in your bag or with you, so it's really hard to miss a text, whereas emails can be more easily missed. So it's fantastic to be able to reach out to people via text. You can also choose your notifications, so you can select what goes out by text. And also, so one of the texts we have allows you to ask occupiers for feedback. We've already got data to say that, in fact, if you do use text messages to ask occupiers for feedback, you're more likely to receive feedback by about 30 to 40%. So actually, that's really, really good statistics. With regards to notifications, the top two here can be set for your occupiers only at the moment. This is a new feature, of course. We are building it out. We started small. So the notifications you can currently set up for SMS are, the top two, like I say, are for occupiers. So to tell an occupier when an appointment has been set. So once a contractor sets an appointment, or perhaps you do it on their behalf, you can then have a text message as well as an email going out to your occupier. Also a reminder text as well. So this will be the day before the appointment, as well as having an email, you can set up a text. And issue feedback. Now, issue feedback can be for all of the parties that you set this up for. And obviously you need to have issue feedback actually set up in order to send out the SMS. So you can ask feedback from occupiers, leaseholders, and also landlords. So you can send them a text message, any of those parties, regarding issue feedback. So now I want to show you how you can turn on SMS notifications. Of course, it's great to talk about the benefits, but how do you actually do it? So here I am on my system. Now, in order to agree to the SMS terms and conditions and to set up these notifications, you will need to have administrator rights. You will need to click here on Setup. So those with administrator permissions will be able to click here on Setup and then Settings just here. From here, you'll want to go to the T's and C's tab, which is the furthest tab along on the right-hand side, which just sits here. And there's an additional one here called Additional Feature SMS. Now, something to point out is that SMS is a paid-for feature. You do not pay monthly. There's no setup fee or cancellation charge. You pay per text message, and this is 6 pence per text message, just to let you guys know. But with administrator rights, you will be able to click into setup, go to the T's and C's tab, and then obviously go here to look at the terms and conditions. It will open up a new tab for you, allowing you to kind of view these terms and conditions. And once you are happy, you can then agree to the terms and conditions. Once you've agreed to them with this checkbox, you can activate the feature. Easy as this, obviously once you're happy to do so. And then you can see here, you can always access the terms and conditions, but that has now been accepted. Once the terms and conditions have been accepted, nothing is actually turned on yet. All you've done is agree to the terms and conditions. That means that this feature can now be turned on. To turn this on, you again will need administrator rights, and it will be here within Setup and Settings once again, but you will want to go to the Notifications tab, which sits here. Within Notifications, because these are for the occupier at the moment, you want to click on the Occupier Notification Defaults, where you can see the notifications here, and the notification type sits here. So as well as now having email, we also have SMS on these. So this is something that you can turn on. Obviously for feedback, if you want to send out feedback once a contractor has marked a job as complete, you must make sure within your issue settings that you in fact do have issue feedback turned on, and that can be turned on for other parties as well. So that's just something to point out, and you can also send them text messages. So like I say, this is a really great way to reach out to people. We are going to be building on it. Just do keep in mind there's that extra 6 pence per text message, but it's a great way to keep people in the loop, and you can easily turn notifications on and off. So literally from here, just remember to press save as well. So that's just something to kind of keep an eye out for. Perfect. I hope that has given you some insight into SMS. We do also have an article regarding text messages on our help site. You can easily access our help site, guys. To do so, you would literally click here on Need Help. It sits in your left-hand corner of your Fixflo site. Clicking on Need Help, you can see here, this is a widget that will appear for you. You can actually see release notes. So these are the last year's release notes. They sit here. And in fact, SMS notifications is one of the kind of top rated articles for being in this particular page. So when you do open this Need Help widget, it will consider which page within Fixflo you're in, and it will give you some suggested articles. You can search for help here. And remember, guys, you can always contact us. We would appreciate if you could read an article first, just so you may find the answer much quicker. We also have a number of videos as well. But you can always contact us here. It's the very best way to contact us. And the reason being is because it will ask you for information such as the issue number. You can take screenshots as well. So you can give us as much information as we need to help you resolve the issue quicker. When you search for help here, say I was to open up this, you can of course make this larger and open it in a new tab by clicking on that button there. And then you can read all about, for example, here, SMS notifications. I hope that's given you a really good kind of understanding to it though, and something that you may be looking to turn on. Next, we're going to be moving over to the Contractor Inbox feature. So contractors can now, in fact, email their invoices over to you. And there are a number of benefits to doing this. The benefits are, it's quick and easy. It's the quickest way contractors can actually send their invoices in to you. It's just via email. It integrates, well, it doesn't integrate, but it allows them to use other invoicing tools. So if they're using QuickBooks, if they're using Xero, great, no problem at all. They can easily create the invoice on there and then just literally open up an email, send the emails over to you or the invoices over to you from having used a different software. They can send multiple invoices in at once. So again, this really speeds things up for them rather than them having to log in and upload every single one individually or create them individually. Instead, they can literally have their invoices ready, send them off in an email, do it on a weekly basis or whatever they need. This is really great for contractors that do high volumes of work with you guys. If they're doing kind of 1 or 2 invoices a week, then of course it's helpful, but it's much more helpful for those that have a high volume and they've got a lot of kind of admin to do. It will really make it quicker for them. So this is something really fantastic you can tell your contractors all about. They don't even need to log in. They can literally go on to their email, send the invoices in, and the issue will actually mark as complete for them. So they don't need to log into Fixflo. It will stop them having to do that. And also the invoice number and costs, as long as obviously they're on the invoice, will pull straight across into Fixflo and they will add to the invoice number field and the job cost field for you. So it's really simple. We've tried to make this the best it possibly can be. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to show you from a contractor point of view. So here I am logged in as a contractor. I'm going to show you how they can access this email address and what would need to be included. We're going to have a look at some of the emails as well that contractors receive, whether they attach or not. And I'm also going to show you the document management side here as well. So first and foremost, I guess we're talking about this email. Well, which email do they need to email their invoices to? So when a contractor is logged into Fixflo, they have got their own left-hand menu sidebar here on the left. And they can access this email address in 3 different ways. They can either go into document management and click here on invoicing details. They can also click on invoicing details from the invoices section here as well. Or alternatively, they can click on setup towards the bottom of this drop down. That will open up kind of a drop down for them and they can click here on invoicing. So either of those ways will they get them here to this kind of invoicing page. And here you can see it says Invoice Inbox. This is their email. Please don't note this down. This is for my individual contractor here, and each contractor will have their very own email address. So it will be like CO, and it will have a bunch of numbers that's unique to the particular contractor, at invoice.fixflo.com. So again, please do not note this one down. Each contractor will have their very own inbox, and it's important that they get this, copy it, and keep it safe somewhere so they know exactly how they can email their invoices through to Fixflo. Now, the things that they really will need to include on the invoice itself, so this is really, really critical, guys, they must include the IS number. If they include the IS number, that means that the invoice will be attached to the issue automatically, and the issue will then mark as complete. So that's a really, really important thing. If they do not add the IS number, they can also add a JB number, but I go with the IS number. If that's not added to the invoice, then the invoice will not attach to an issue because it will not know where to go. The actual email title does not need any IS numbers. The body of the message doesn't either. All they need to make sure is it's included on the invoice itself. If the costs are included and there's an invoice number, they will all then go straight through to Fixflo and attach to that particular issue. But the IS number is absolutely essential. Once they have added emailed the invoices through, like I say, they can do multiple at once if they want to make things quicker, then they will receive an email. Okay, so I've got some emails here. This is the first email I want to show you, so I hope this is big enough. I've just made it slightly bigger. So this is just an example. It says, "Dear contractor, the invoice file," and it's got the IS number here, PDF, has been successfully attached to, and then it's got the actual IS number here. So this is the invoice file number they gave, and they can see, for example, the title, the costs and everything like that, and the invoice number. And all of this, like I say, will pull into Fixflo for you as the agent. But this is what they'll receive. So it'll be really, really clear to the contractor whether it's attached or not. If it does not attach, then they will receive an email that looks like this, saying the invoice file has been successfully received, but could not be auto-attached to an issue. So again, this would be when the IS number has not been included on the actual invoice. Use the link below to review the invoice and attach it manually. So they can attach invoices manually, and I will show you that shortly. If they send more than one invoice at a time, oh, this is slightly blurry, I do apologize. It will say, so if you can't see this, I'll read it to you. It says, "Dear contractor, you emailed us with details of invoices and we processed the attachments. Here is a summary of those attachments." So it says that they're being processed and that they've been imported. So if they do it as more than one invoice at a time, they will still receive kind of this summary email. Perfect. So this is the email address that they will need to send everything to, and they have got a documents management section here. Like I say, they will receive that email itself, and also if any documents, so invoices, have not attached to an issue, this here on the top left-hand corner, they've got an unattached invoices section. This will show with a notification similar like this one to say 1, 2, 3, however many. And if they click on this, it will take them straight through to document management, and it will show them this pending screen. And here is where they would be able to attach invoices to issues, and then they would go through as attached, and they can also be deleted. Further, we do have an add section here. So this is another way they can also, if they wanted to, attach their invoices as well. They could either click to upload here, or they could simply drag documents into this space. This is currently for invoices only, but we will be building this out in the kind of long-term future. I'm not quite sure in an ETA, but I know we'll be building this out to things such as contractor certification, etc. So this will become much, much broader. At the moment, it is just for invoices. Once the invoices have been attached, they will sit here within the invoices section, and they've got an unpaid section and also a paid section. So they can also mark their invoices as paid. This is not a new or improved feature. This has always been there. I just thought I would show it to you. I really hope that makes sense in terms of the email inbox feature for contractors. It's a really fantastic site, fantastic feature, allowing contractors to really quickly get their emails, get their invoices emailed over to you. So please let your contractors know about it. And just to let you know, when it comes to training your contractors, we do have a contractor help site. The contractor help site is fantastic. It is contractor-help.fixflo.com, and it's a way that you can kind of send this out to your contractors and help them to better understand Fixflo. We do have several articles, and they also have their very own video library, which I've created, and it has short and snappy videos to help them get to grips with the system even better. So please make sure you're linking this out. I'm happy to link this out by the end of play to you all today in the email, where I will include a recording of today's webinar. I hope that makes sense. Perfect. So the next thing we're going to move on to now, so they are the two new features that we've done this year. Next, I'm going to be moving on to improvements, and we're going to start off with the promote section. So I'm sure you guys know just how important it is to promote your Fixflo site out to your occupiers, to ensure that your occupiers are using Fixflo the best they can and increase value. We do have a promote section which sits on your left-hand menu sidebar, and it's accessible to all, and it just sits here towards the bottom. Okay, if I click here on promote, it will take me through, and this is a new page. It used to look very different, and this was updated kind of the very beginning of 2021. We now have a section promote to your occupiers, and also one promote to your landlords. We will be adding one for contractors, but again, I'm not quite sure on the ETA of that. I just know it's on the roadmap. I will probably be doing a webinar on that when we do have a promote to your contractors section as well. So here we've got your custom URL. So this is obviously my one. So again, please don't note this down, but your URL is where you go to log in. So this matches exactly up here. It's where your occupiers will go to report issues, unless you have an iframe set up or occupiers report issues through a portal. And also it's where your contractors and landlords also will go to log in. You can easily copy your URL, and if you have got more than one brand, so if you've got multi-brands set up, you can choose your brand here and then copy the URL as necessary. If you click on promote to your occupiers, you've got lots of different promotion options here. And it's highly recommended you kind of have a look through these tips. Just going to give you some kind of top tips just now on how you can best promote your occupiers to ensure that they are using Fixflo when reporting maintenance issues. First of all, you can text your occupiers. Now, again, we've talked about people not really missing text messages, so it's a great way to reach out, and we'd be happy to send text messages for free. So if you would like to send text messages, please literally go to your promote section, click Get Texting Now, and click here to contact us for more credits. That will open up an email asking us to provide more credits. Simply send it, and this credit balance will then increase. You can change your text message here. Just remember, you have got a character allowance, and so press save once you're happy. And then you can click here and literally put the numbers in. It's recommended that each number is on its own row. And then you can press send message and get promoting out. Let your occupiers know that this is what you're using to report maintenance issues. And also, the only thing that does need to be included on the text message itself is your custom URL, which is here. You cannot send the text message without it. It will not let you save the message if you remove that. Just to let you know, if the occupier then receives a text message, they will be able to click here on the URL itself, and it will take them straight into Fixflo on their smartphone. They will then be prompted to download that as a web app, which is like a bookmark, if you like. There is no app that we have for like contractors. There's no like we have a contractor app that they can download from the Play Store or App Store. That's not available, unfortunately, for occupiers, but they can always do this, so it's a constant reminder on their phone. Another great way to promote, I am nearly done with promotion, I'm just going to give you a few top tips, is you can actually set up automatic reminder emails to your occupiers. Now, if you click on any of these kind of promoting tips, it will open up a new tab into our help site. giving you all of the tips of how you can do this. This really is recommended, as you can send out text messages on a recurring basis, not text messages, sorry, emails on a recurring basis, so that your occupiers are kept up to date with the fact that you're using Fixflo. So please do have a look at this. That's all set up. You will need, again, administrator rights. It's set up within settings, sorry. And if you click here on notifications, you can scroll down. It's an occupier notification again, like the SMSs are. And it's here, an automated reminder to let occupiers know about reporting issues on Fixflo. You can set this to do not send, which will be the default, but you can set this to either every 3, 6 or 12 months. That really is highly recommended. It will go to any occupier who has either reported an issue on Fixflo and or has received a welcome email from the Fixflo site. Highly recommended you do that. If you are going to do it, you must have move in and move out processes for your occupiers, i.e. a new occupier comes on board, great, add them to Fixflo. They'll receive the welcome email and then you'll know they're receiving these emails. If an occupier moves out, you must make sure that you archive them from your system. It's easily done by clicking on people, occupiers, and literally you can archive them here. Okay, perfect. The next thing I want to talk about, so I hope that makes sense on promotion and how important it really is to promote to your occupiers. The next thing I want to talk about is the global search bar. So we have improved the search bar that sits on the top right-hand corner of your Fixflo site. It used to be a little hit and miss, if I'm honest. So it used to be, we would kind of recommend, if you've got the IS number to hand, great, search for it on the top right hand corner. Anything else, and it really was hit and miss. If you searched for a property or for an occupier, it wouldn't always find it. So we've made some really big improvements to this search bar, and it is now what we would call a global search bar. Just to let you know, before you search, you can always click on this little drop down. So this is a classic drop down that we have for pretty much all of our searches, where you can open up a number of filters, allowing you to narrow down your search. Now, by default, it will always highlight all, but if, for example, you were looking for specifically issues, properties, occupiers, etc., you could filter out before you start searching if you wanted to, and you can also just use this as a general search. So, for example, if I was to search for Megan here, it would show me 135 results, and I would be able to see, for example, here I can see that these are tenants, so we've got kind of little icons as well on the left-hand side, and I could search through all of these results. We've also got additional filters now here on the right-hand side, so I didn't specify on the filters beforehand, but I can see here, for example, I've got issues, I've got 129 issues with a Megan attached, I've got 1 landlord, I've got 5 occupiers. So you can really kind of see the breakdown of all here. And I could, for example, just want to view my issues. So all of these have been reported by a Megan. I could also view my closed issues only if I wanted to, /archived, or I might want to view my open and active. So this really allows you to kind of filter out better and easier search. So please make sure that you're using this. I hope that will make sense and that you're happy with the new and improved search bar. Next, I'm going to talk about the comments tab. So the comments tab is something we have in fact improved on as well. So to access a comments tabs are found within each and every issue, and they centralize all communication within that particular issue. So everything's under one roof, and we highly recommend that you do use the comments tab. It really is a key feature on Fixflo. If I click into an issue here and I go into, say, for example, I don't know, this issue, and I go into the comments tab. So the comments tab, like I say, is found within each and every issue. You can add private notes, and you can also send messages to any party to do with the issue. Now, the improvement that we've made here is we've made more space on the tab itself so that actually more comments can be seen straight away, whereas before there was a lot of scrolling. because the actual comment where you leave a comment took up quite a lot of space on the page. Now, if I click in the comments box, it now opens up for me and expands. And if I've got a long message to type as well, you can see that the box actually is made slightly bigger as well. So that's really, really good. So it's not like you can't see the whole message, whereas before there was lots of scrolling, and we've kind of removed that. I hope that makes sense in terms of the comments tab. Any kind of suggestions, we're always like looking for better ways to improve things. So if you think of any suggestions, do contact us. Again, it's through Need Help, just contact us here. We always love to hear kind of from you guys. You are our clients. We want to make sure Fixflo is the best it can be. I just want to point out a couple of things as well. Just to let you know, you can send messages to different agents within a comments tab as well. So it's not just the parties, it's kind of hidden though. So if I click here on send to, if I wanted to send a message to another agent, I could either start typing in their name or their email address. And you can see the different agents now appear. So I could send a message to Jane if I wanted to, if she's been off on holiday or off sick and I've been dealing with her issue, I could easily keep her in the loop. Didn't know if you knew about that, just wanted to point that out because it's a great little function. And another thing is that you can also add a comment signature by default. So I've got mine here as kind regards lettings team. How do you add this? So to add it, you would click on people, agents, and you would go into your profile. So I'm going to George. That can also be accessed by clicking here and my profile, completely up to you. And the comment signature just sits here. Remember, obviously, any changes that you make, press save, and that will then be there every time. So you don't need to keep typing out kind regards, best wishes, anything like that. Have it there as your default signature. That's not an improvement. It's been there for a while. I just wanted to point that out. Perfect. Another thing we've tidied up as well here is the related tab. So related tab sits within each and every issue, similar to the comments tab. So if I click into this issue here, the related tab sits here. So the related tab used to be like a really long kind of page and you had to scroll down. Instead, what we've done is we've actually nestled everything now. So I've got other occupiers at this property, any linked issues, other issues at the property, and interested people. So I can easily, for example, click between the tabs to find other information. So that has been tidied up. It looks a lot neater than it used to be. And remember, the related tab is fantastic because it shows you other occupiers at the property, where I could notice that actually Callum's moved out. I could easily archive him from here as well. Remember, guys, keeping your data up to date is so, so important. And also I could actually change the reporting occupier to know that actually Callum is who I need to speak with. So I can do that as well by clicking on this little grey flag, which means that Callum would then become the reporting occupier for this particular issue. Also, you can view other issues at this property, and this will give me a bird's eye view of everything going on, so that I'd be able to see, for example, actually something keeps breaking within this property. Rather than continuously trying to fix it, maybe it's time actually to get a whole new one. That can help to, in fact, save landlords money. And it should also highlight to you why it's so important all issues go through Fixflo. Okay, perfect. The next thing I want to show you is the audit tab improvement we've made for duplicate issues. So you can, in fact, duplicate an issue through the actions button up here. That will essentially create a carbon copy of the issue, and it will include everything except for any comments on the comments tab, okay? If I now create a duplicate issue, you can see it will take me straight into this duplicate issue, which is at the reported status. It always will be because it's new. And on the audit tab now of only the duplicated issue, it's important to note here, you'll be able to see, again, it's time and date stamped that this has been duplicated. Before, the audit tab was completely blank on duplicated issues. So this really is great. Okay, excellent. The next thing I want to talk to you about is the additional filters that we've added when you are searching for your issues. So as well as the fantastic global search option you have up here, we also have got an issues section here where you can click on issues search. Now, this is a really great page because it has, again, this kind of classic drop down, which, like I say, it will open up filters, allowing you to really narrow down your search. If I click here, there are a number of different filters available for you here, allowing you to really narrow down exactly what it is that you're looking for. We've added a few additional filters to this. So the ones we've added, just to let you know, are status changed. So you can see on a time scale kind of when how many issues have had their status changed. So in the last 7 days, I can see that in fact 5 have had their status changed. And we've also added a close reason here as well. So you'll be able to report on that as well if you want to. These can be particularly helpful. So I may want to see how many have had close reason works completed. I might want to see that in the last, again, maybe last 28 days. And obviously then I'm looking at my closed issues, just as an example. If I do that, I can see I've had 3 issues which have changed there to works completed, at least. So I hope that makes sense. And this can be particularly helpful for those of you that have multiple dashboards set up. This is also an additional feature. It is a paid for feature, but if you are interested in having more than just one dashboard, so this is really good for things like if you are managing planned maintenance and you want one dashboard on planned maintenance and one on reactive works, you can have as many dashboards as you want, and you can also set up custom saved searches, allowing you to create your very own dashboard panels. You could, for example, set certain searches and then actually create dashboard panels around those. So, for example, keeping track of how many issues have been closed over the last week, for example, you could have a panel about that. If you are interested in multiple dashboards, please do get in touch with us. Again, just reach out through Need Help Here, contact us and say that you would like a demonstration on multiple dashboards. As I say, it does come at an additional fee. That fee will depend on the size of your company, so you'll need to get in touch with us for us to kind of give you pricing on that. But that can be a really, really great thing. I've got multiple dashboards set up here, and you can see, for example, I've got different dashboards that I can access, and I can set up custom saved searches as well. Okay, excellent. So the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is the fact that you can now search for unassigned properties as well. So within Fixflo, you can set up property, landlord, and also postcode assignment for both agents and also teams. This can really help to streamline your work, because you can then make sure that the correct properties, for example, are being signed straight away to the correct agent, or perhaps a team as well if you have teams set up. What you can do is, if I click here on properties, and again we're going to this classic drop down filter, please do use this if you are trying to narrow down your searches. And here I've got agent or team assignment. Something new we've added to this is unassigned. Before, you could only search by, for example, assigned to me or to a specific agent, but now you can also choose unassigned here and press search. And I know I have 81 properties which isn't assigned to anyone. That means that when a new issue is created, it will go through as unassigned for these particular properties, unless I have landlord or postcode assignment set up, that is. So if it's not assigned to anyone at all, it will go to the central email address. That is also set up, just to show you, here in setup, settings, and in your contact settings. So anything unassigned will go to jessica.doobie@fixflo.com, and I can also add CC email addresses. They must be separated by a semicolon. However, I can set up assignment, like I say, just to streamline all of my jobs to make sure the right issues are going to the right people. Again, through properties, you can now search your properties to see all of your unassigned properties if you want to. If you want to know more about assignment, again, if you click here on Need Help, we've got some fantastic articles and also videos explaining how assignment can be set up. Properties can actually be bulk assigned as well, so you can do that by clicking here on options. bulk actions where you can literally reassign to an agent or a team by going through and selecting the properties you want to. And then it means that the issue will be automatically assigned to that particular agent or team, and they will receive the email with the new report. I hope that makes sense. And like I say, we've got some really good articles and videos on all of that. And again, you can always reach out and get in touch with us here if you struggle to find it, and we can send you some guidance. The final thing we're going to go through now is the improved clarification for contractors for planned maintenance issues. So this is for Fixflo Professional only. The difference between Fixflo Essential and Fixflo Professional is that Fixflo Professional clients can use our fantastic planned maintenance tool, which sits here on the left-hand menu sidebar. If you do have professional setup and you've got access to planned maintenance, but you're not using it, again, check out our help site. We've got some really, really good videos and webinars and just guidance and advice on planned maintenance to help you get set up. It's highly recommended that you watch my featured webinar on that before you get started. Again, you can access it through Need Help. But it's a fantastic tool. It's all about compliance, and it's about setting up recurring service events, things such as gas safety certificates, boiler services, EICRs, window cleaning, gardening, statutory and non-statutory events to make sure you're compliant across your whole portfolio. If you have Fixflo Essential, but you would like to know more about planned maintenance, just get in touch with us and we can definitely talk about upgrading you to Fixflo Professional so you can use that fantastic tool. We've made a recent improvement. So if you click, again, you will need administrator rights for this, but it is a setting. So if you click on Setup and then Settings, you'll want to stay here within your issue settings, and you'll need to scroll down to planned maintenance, where you'll want to ensure that this is the setting you have turned on. This is not the default setting. The default setting is the one just above that highlighted one saying contractor to contact the agency to arrange access. So I guess the thing to remember here is with planned maintenance, the issues, so the IS numbers are being created from service events. So what I mean with that is that you will be setting up service events to say that every single year, for example, you would like a gas safety certificate to be created. On the instruction date of that service event, an IS number will be created, and remember that the two are very much linked and they will stay linked throughout the IS number journey. Now, if you have got, because this is not an issue that's created on behalf of an occupier or you've created it on their behalf. Instead, this has come from a service event. So by default, the contractor will need to contact you to arrange access with the occupier. If you want to change the setting, you easily can do to say, provide the contractor the occupier details to arrange access. And again, any changes, just remember to press save. So what used to happen is, because it's created from a service event, the occupier wouldn't be attached to the issue as such, but the contractor, could see the occupier contact details only on the detail tab of the issue, and it was getting missed. It wasn't communicated very clearly at all. So we have made some really big improvements. If I go to my planned maintenance section here and go to properties, and I'm just going to go to one I did earlier. So I'm just going to go into this issue here. So this is an IS number which has been created off the back of a service event. It's for a boiler service. So with the change that came in a couple of weeks ago, what we've now done is, rather than not attach an occupier at all, an occupier, as long as you have that setting turned on, will now be attached to all of your issues which are created from planned maintenance service events. It will be the occupier who either reported a maintenance issue last or was last added, depending on what was nearer, if that makes sense, what was more frequent. So this means an occupier sits here, and now if I go in as the contractor quickly, just going to show you, and I go to this issue, that occupier is now attached here. Before it would show there is no related occupier, but now they will sit here with their contact details. So it's super duper clear now for contractors who to contact. So this is much, much better. It's a big, big improvement. Again, if you want more details about planned maintenance, please do make sure you check out our help site. It really is the best way to A, search for articles and videos, and B, also get in touch. Okay, perfect. We finished just on time. And before I start answering your questions, I'm just going to launch a very quick poll. There is a second one. So I'm just going to quickly go through the questions that there are here. There are, I think, 5 questions. There's 6 questions. So question 1 is, would you be interested to come to another webinar on new and improved features on Fixflo? As I said before, this is the very first one we've ever done showing the kind of new and improved features from releases. So is this something you guys are interested in? Is it something we should continue with? How would you rather stay up to date with our releases? So currently it's all done via kind of an article, if you like. Would you prefer videos? I guess is the question there. It's something that we're looking at doing. Then the next 2 are out of 10 questions. Please remember that 1 is low and 10 is high. Number 5 is, did you learn something new today? It'd be great to know if you did. If you didn't, no worries, be honest. We want to hear honestly from you. And then the 6th one is all about SMS features. Is this something you would like to switch on? There are 4 answers there. Maybe you already have, maybe you need more information, maybe you want to. So let us kind of know. We'd really like to hear kind of how you guys got on. Okay, perfect. So I'm now going to go through and answer your questions. So question 1, do contractors get this message when invoicing through QuickBooks? Nicola, thank you so much for your question. Also, for those of you that are leaving now, I just wanted to say a big, big thank you for joining me today. It's been a real pleasure going through Fixflo with you and showing you guys the new releases. I hope it's been a helpful webinar. I hope you've learned something. So, I'm guessing, Nicola, that you are speaking about these emails. So they can create the invoice through QuickBooks. That's no problem. They can create it through anything, but they will then need to email the invoices through to us in order to receive this message. So they'll need to use, so if I go back to my contractor profile here, if I go to invoices and go to invoicing details, they will need to use this email address and email them. But if they can create the invoice, sorry, I keep mixing my words up. They can create the invoice through QuickBooks, but they will then need to email them across. I hope that makes sense, but they can use QuickBooks, yes. Is there a document or video we can send to contractors to show how to use this platform? So I don't know if you're talking about the inbox feature specifically. We do have, as I mentioned before, this contractor help site, which does have a video library. And also one thing that we have, so this is like getting started videos and also like using Fixflo. So there's, 12 videos in here. It is something I probably need to spend a bit more time doing as well. If I'm honest, there could probably be some additions added there, but this is definitely a good start. Oh, Ross, you say I've answered it already. Another thing just to point out with videos to contractors is when you add a contractor to Fixflo manually, so if you click on people and contractors, obviously you can bulk set this up, and also if you've got an integration set up, an advanced integration, your contractor details might pull across, so you don't then want to be adding contractors to Fixflo itself. So there's lots of variations here, but if you are adding a contractor this way, they will receive a welcome email. You can also send out a welcome email on a bulk basis through options here, and also click into a contractor here and scroll down and send them a welcome email. That welcome email by default will in fact include like a 5-minute welcome video. You can access the welcome email by clicking on setup and content edit, scrolling down, and it's here, email welcome contractor. So if I click here, this is kind of the default email that goes out, and it's this video here. You can view it yourself by clicking on preview and clicking here, and it will open up to YouTube. And here it's a 5 minutes, just over 5 minutes long, and it will go through kind of a welcome to your contractors there. So that might be something that you find particularly helpful. Perfect. Do the auto reminders to Fixflo to clients work for owners on block management too? Jack, do you mean the auto reminders to the occupiers? I think, so if we're talking about setup and settings, if we click on notifications here, are you talking about this email, Jacques? I think it's only for occupiers. But I can check that for you and get back to you if you like. Another question has come through. Do we need, what do we need to do to get the message to say the contractor has uploaded their public liability document? So, bear with me 1 second. So it will really depend, Nicola. So there are 2 ways to set up notifications. So if you go to your setup and settings and click here on notifications, there is this setting here, okay? Everyone has this setting, and it's called some agencies prefer all issue-related emails to be sent to a single inbox. Now, if this is set to yes, that means that everything, whether it's assigned or not, will go through to the contact settings, okay? It will go through to this email address and any CCs. If, like me, you have this switched to no, and remember, if you want to make changes, you must press save. That means that emails will go through to the agent who is actually assigned the issue. And then within people and agents, each agent can then actually set their very own notification settings here, so that they can set up to receive emails when they want. Some people love loads of emails, some people don't, so they can set up what they want. And it's this. So it's sent when a new certificate is uploaded by a contractor. So it's this that you'll want to have a look at. I hope that makes sense. So if you've got that setting set to, I think it was no, it should be in your own notification settings within your agent profile. If not, I think it's in setup, settings, notifications. If it's set to yes, you should be able to, yeah, you should be able to set it here as well. So just make sure the notifications turned on. If you're having any problems, Nicola, just reach out. But I hope that makes sense. Do the contractor invoices have to contain the IS number, or do they just need to be named? So the question from Ross is, do contractor invoices need to contain the IS number, or does the invoice just need to be named as the IS number? It needs to contain it. So the invoice that comes through must have within the invoice itself. So on the invoice, the IS number must be there in order to auto attach. The invoice does not need to be named with the IS number. It can be if they want it to be, but it doesn't need to be. And the actual email title or subject does not need the IS number either. So it just needs to be within the invoice itself. Can we manually assign a contractor invoice if the contractor has not? So Peter, I'm guessing you mean if the invoice has not attached. See, I don't think that's possible. So if I go to contractors and contractors here, this is something that in fact contractors need to do themselves, I believe. Yeah. So you can access their Invoice Inbox, so you'll be able to send that to them if you want to, of course, but you cannot attach them yourselves. This is something contractors will need to do. I can raise it with the development team though to let them know that this is something that has been brought up. Perfect. Okay, everybody has answered the poll. Big thank you for that. I will stay online for a couple more minutes in case there are any more questions. Guys, please keep safe. It's scary out there at the moment. I hope you're all keeping well and keeping safe and enjoying the weather at the moment. It's beautiful. Have a lovely rest of the week. And thank you so much for joining me this morning. It's been a real pleasure going through the new releases with you all. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.